Hi guys, so this is going to be my 34-week update, and as you can see I've kind of broken the rules and gotten out of my bed, but I promise I've only been sitting, so um, I've been trying to keep it easy. I just can't work from bed, it's not very comfortable, so I have this whole setup here for work. But I am going to apologize again. I feel like I'm apologizing at the beginning of every video, but I'm sick, so if I start coughing or if you see the video kind of stop, it's because I am having a coughing fit. Um, so yeah, I left the hospital Sunday, and within like 12 hours, I just got so stuffy and like my chest was starting to congest. And I woke up the next morning, I couldn't stop coughing, and I was like almost sounded like a bronchital type cough. So I went into urgent care, and they basically told me I had caught a virus in my upper respiratory, which is just a common cold, basically. That I couldn't really take any antibiotics anyway because it's a virus. And they put me on bed rest for a week, and I was like, well, my OB already put me on bed rest for 3, so don't think that's going to be an issue. Drink lots of fluids and put me on Robitussin and cough drops. So, yeah, that's what I've been fighting this week. I did have my doctor's appointment on Monday as well. So I went to my OB and then I went to my urgent care. My OB did take me off the contraction medicine. Now that I'm officially 34 weeks, if I go back into labor, they're just going to make me deliver. So let's hope that I can hold out for the full term, because I want her to be nice and healthy and plump and fully baked by the time she comes out. So we don't need a preemie. So I have been trying to take it really easy and been drinking a lot of water and vitamins and all that stuff. So hopefully that works out okay. So for this video, I'm going to talk about the baby and the symptoms that I have experienced that I can kind of, I don't know, it's been really hard because I've been so congested and sick that's kind of what I've been focused on. And then I went to a baby safe class this week. So I learned a lot of really good things from that, and I thought I would just share like maybe a handful of it. Because it's just, there was so much information, and it was extremely helpful. So if you have a baby safe class at your hospital that teaches like CPR and how to handle choking with infants, then definitely do that. It was really, it was more than I was expecting, but it was great. And then at the end I'll do my measurements. So yeah, here we go. Sorry. So the baby this week is nearly 5 pounds, if not over, just depending on where you're at. So since I'm pretty much 34 and a half weeks, I'd say she's over 5 pounds now. Although I have a feeling I'm going to have a pretty small baby just because I'm hiding her really well, or she just is not going to be very big. She's playing. And the other cool thing is they have, their nails are fully covered on their nail beds now. So they have like human nails, not just little sprouts. So that's pretty much it for baby. She moves a lot. I feel like she's dropping just a little bit because I can feel her a lot lower than I've been feeling her before. So although I don't really think from the outside it looks like I'm carrying any lower. I don't know. If you guys can tell if I'm carrying low, then let me know. But I can definitely feel her a lot lower than I've been feeling her in the past few weeks. So for my symptoms, obviously I'm battling this, so this has not been very fun. And having a cold while you're pregnant is even worse because you can't, there's like so many restrictions on the type of medication that you can take that you just kind of have to deal with it. So I'm sure the baby's dad is like wanting to strangle me because I'll call him and be like, I need more water. Can you go fight the blizzard that we're having and just please go get me some more water? Because I don't like the tap water here. I kind of feel spoiled, but it's alright. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, if I have noticed if I'm doing too much, like I had a cleaning staff come in and clean for me because I'm not going to be able to do that anymore on my own. And I try to pick up beforehand and do some laundry beforehand. And anytime I like do more than like maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes of like walking around or just some type of movement, my contractions fire right back up. So they were right about staying in bed because the more I do, the more they like more powerful and strong that they get, the stronger that they get, and it's painful. So the contractions are not fully gone. They did take me off the medication, but yeah, I'm trying to avoid it if I can. I am pooping again. Yay! Probably TMI, but they put me on some stool softeners, and that's really gotten things kind of working the way they should again. So that's exciting because now I know like my cramping is not from being constipated, and my cramping is not from whatever else it could be from. That would be the only thing I could think of. So now I know. Now I know when I'm cramping that it's actually my whole stomach when it's cramping is my contractions kicking in again. So that feels really good to have that handled. And I've been taking a lot of fiber and eating a lot of like cherries and stuff. So just to kind of keep things moving so I don't have to rely on the stool softeners. I'm out of breath, but I think that's partly from the cold. Probably some from the baby, but mostly from the cold. So yeah, so that's all pretty much it for symptoms and baby. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on this week, and other than me being sick and trying to avoid going back into labor. But anyway, let's talk about Baby Safe for a little bit. The Baby Safe class was fantastic. It was 3 hours long, and at our class they taught us infant CPR in the beginning, how to do CPR on an infant, and made us practice with these like little dolls. And if you haven't taken a CPR class before, then I really, really recommend it. I have CPR certification from when I was a coach, so I've just have been keeping it up to date, just because I think it's a really good thing to have. Although my certification was only for child and adult, it wasn't for infants, and so I thought it would be helpful. I didn't realize that it's the exact same thing for an infant, just like you use 2 fingers instead of 1 hand versus 2 hands. But it's 30 compressions, make sure that their airway is not obstructed, and then give them 2 breaths, 30 compressions, 2 breaths. At least with an infant, you can do like the compressions and keeping the airway open at the same time. Whereas with like adults and kids, you can't really do that. Kids you can, but adults you really can't because you have to use both hands. So there's that. Then they taught us how, like, if a baby's choking, the way to hold them and then like pat their back, and then how to flip them and check their, it's interesting. You really, really should do it if your hospital or doctor offers it. So a couple of the interesting tips that they gave us: the baby's nursery should be temperature-wise anywhere from 68 to 72 degrees. And you should make sure that air is constantly circulating, so like a fan or like a purifier, something like that that's going to keep the air circulating. And let's see, never lay a blanket flat over them. That's pretty much a known rule now, because they can suffocate with anything that's like loose in their crib. So you have nothing in the crib except for baby. And don't use receiving blankets to swaddle them to put them to sleep. Use like the sleep sacks or something that they can't like get loose and like basically suffocate themselves, because they're just not strong enough to move stuff off their face. They did say like if the baby's having a lot of like acid reflux, the doctor will tell you to like prop them up a little bit in their bed, and they recommended the best way to do it would be to put like a pillow or one of those wedge pillows underneath the sheet. So you have the pillow, and then you have the sheet, and then you have baby on top of the sheet, so that, you know, nothing can come loose, and they can't suffocate themselves, you know, once again. Let's see. Just looking at my notes I took. Oh, bathtub water should be between 90 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you have one of those ducks, like those rubber duckies that just say hot on the bottom, like apparently those are really bad because they're not really accurate, like, whatsoever. You should have one that's like a digital one that tells you exactly what the temperature is inside. So that was really interesting to know, because she said that there's no proven like safety test on those, and that really that anywhere between, like, they could tell you hot anywhere from like 78 degrees to, you know, infinity. So, you know, 78 degrees is actually too cold for the baby. So I thought that was really interesting. You cannot use sunscreen until the baby is 6 months old. I had no idea. Like, Colorado, we have sun every single day, so I just assumed that we could use like a baby sunscreen on the baby, and you can't. Like, until they're 6 months old, and even a baby's skin can get burned if you use 50 SPF. So no sunscreen. What else? Well, the number one place a baby falls is from a changing table. So strap them in, or change them on the floor. Don't even have a changing table, just change them on the floor. You know, half the time, I mean, how often are you really going to use the changing table anyway? I've thought about that too. I'm like, yeah, if I'm in the nursery, I'm going to use the changing table, but really, I'm probably just going to change her wherever she's at. Let's be honest. Let's see. Oh, kids that fall from something 1.5 times their height are proven to have some type of brain damage. So just keep an eye out. I guess just, you know, don't let them fall off of stuff. Top 3 drowning spots for a baby. This was cool. Number 1 is bathtub. That was pretty obvious. Number 2 was your pet water bowl. So apparently when a baby's like crawling around, they can like put their head inside the bowl, and all it takes is like less than a teaspoon of water to drown a baby. So if they get their head in the food bowl, then they're stuck, right? So they drown. So that's the number 2 place that babies drown, is the pet food bowl. She recommended, like, if you have a dog, to get one of those, I call them hamster water bottles, where you know, the ones that you put on a cage and then they have the little ball at the end. And she said to try to introduce your dog to that, like, while you're pregnant, so they get used to it. And PetSmart apparently sells them, so if you go to PetSmart and ask, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. And the number 3 place was a toilet. So, like, for me, my household, I'm really anal about keeping the toilet seats down, so that was, like, kind of a non-issue. Unless the baby's getting, you know, 1.5 years and, like, lifting up the toilet and just, like, putting her head in there, which at some point I should be watching her, so that shouldn't happen. But yeah, so number 3 was toilet. Pregnant women are the most likely of anyone to choke. Crazy. I thought that was kind of crazy. Okay. And just some info on car seats. Let's see here. Oh, this was cool. So, rear facing, the baby should be rear facing until they're 2 years old. I had no idea. So, even like in those convertible car seats, like the booster convertible ones, where most people just face them forward, they actually need to be facing backwards until they're 24 months old. And it says it right in like all the owner's manuals, and nobody pays attention to that. I wouldn't have. I would have faced it forward after the infant car seat. See. Oh, the handlebar on your car seat. Read your owner's manual, because some of them, when the car seat is installed in the car, need to have it straight up. Some of them need them flat down. It's different for each car seat. But, you know, most people just leave it up or put it down, and they have no idea that, you know, if you leave it up, it could actually cause damage. So, and, oh, the last thing is If you're ever in a car accident, even if it's just like a fender bender, you're supposed to replace your car seat because the integrity of the plastic has been compromised. So I had no idea. Kind of cool. Alright, so I feel like I've blown enough time. Let me do my measurements for you, and then I will see you guys in probably half a week or so for 35. Let's see. Can't tell from the front. Alright, let's see where we're at this week. $36.75 this week. I know that's bigger than it was last week. And I can tell because at night I haven't been sleeping that well, just because my stomach is completely uncomfortable. But anyway, I will see you guys for week 35.